And here we are, live, the final Thursday without professional NFL football. The Fly Degenerates, welcome to the show. Flex is back from vacation, a vacation that apparently included infection, and somehow passing the infection through osmosis. I hope it doesn't come flying through my camera here. How are both of y'all feeling this lovely final football-free Thursday?
Lovely.
Yeah, man, feeling good. I'm a little under the weather. Got the cover, but
The cover.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the cover.
Wow.
The Cover Rover.
Over G's.
Under Grover. What you said? Under.
Cover G's. Yeah, no, but y'all all right? How do you did you test when you got back, or how did you know you, like, when did you start feeling sick?
It's like I was just like sluggish, you know what I'm saying? Like I get tired. Like I know, like it was that Florida heat, bro. I don't know how you do it, B. Like every day got hot. Every day got hotter. Every day got hotter. Like we could handle the first couple of days. It was like 92, 93, but the shit just kept getting hotter, man. Like the last day before we left, that shit said. It said at 3 o'clock. It said the Weather Channel app said it was 80. At 3:15, the shit said it was gonna be 92, and the feel was 103.
Yeah, easy. That's the key. Is the feel. You know how in New York you see the feel, whatever. You don't really pay attention because you just it is what the number is.
Yeah.
Out here, the feel is more important than the actual shit. Because the feel is it's always 100. It's always 100.
Yeah, I asked the lift driver. I was like, "Yo, how hot it is out? How hot is it outside?" He was like, "Oh, it's right there. It says 88." I'm like, "This no goddamn not 88, bro. You can't fool me with this shit, man."
Nice.
I know what 88 is.
Yeah.
Michael Irvin. That shit was not. That shit was not that.
Where?
Are you sure you didn't run into Michael Irvin while you were there, and that's how you got sick?
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you see how he sweat, you know
that's
what I'm
what I'm thinking.
So I don't know, maybe.
And if his performance and his new gig is any indicator, he's all fired up, sweating like it's Dallas circa 1993. All right, so to this week, we're going to complete our fantasy football rankings with the all-important wide receivers, and we will revisit the shenanigans of Hard Knocks, the I guess second to last Hard Knocks. The last one will be next week. But yeah, let's first get into Hard Knocks, because the only thing I have to say about Hard Knocks is that it took too long to turn into Hard Knocks from my perspective. Like I've been saying, for the last however many weeks, the most recent episode of Hard Knocks is the Hard Knocks that I'm used to watching. We got a little bit of the D line, we got we got the young receivers. That, to me, is what Hard Knocks is all about, not the Aaron Rodgers fest. I mean, we still got a lot of Aaron Rodgers, but I felt like they finally, did a true, proper Hard Knocks episode. And I thought that the way that they did the whole, there was all this speculation about how they're going to do the cuts. They're not going to show it. You can't be in the room. To me, it was the same. Who cares? Like, the fact that they weren't in the room, they still showed the dude walking, with walking his playbook ass out of there. So, I mean, who cares? We know he got cut. Like, okay, we didn't actually see the moment where they tell him, bro, you're cut. But to me, it's like, who cares?
Yeah, it's like all you needed was like people like the other players standing around the receiver room, was like, where's Jerome Cap?
Yeah,
and like everybody looking around. No, but like if anything, they made it more embarrassing, because it's like, they singled his ass out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like, that was the thing that I felt like it wasn't any. If the whole humanity of it, and somebody's losing a job and all that, and like if it was all to be sensitive to that, To me, it was. That's why I say it was the same joint. Like if it would have been in the room, not inside the room. To me, the way they showed it was no different. Which is, I mean, good. Like I feel like they didn't lose anything from that. But I don't know. Word Life. Did you watch the most recent episode, or you missed it?
I did. I thought they were gonna show more of the Giants shit, but I guess because the Giants never do Hard Knocks. That you know what I'm saying? They were like,
what do you
fuck
mean
them.
more of the Giants?
Yeah, I feel like there was
this
a
is training
significant
camp
amount.
with the New York Jets.
I know,
What
but like,
Giants did you
like,
wanna see?
like you know, right before the game, how they do the little hype up. Usually, like, you know what I mean? Like the little hype, the hype up, like, and then like it's a home team. It's a hometown battle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking they're gonna just show a little bit of the Giants coming out to the field, like um, the Jets are finally, going against the big brother type shit or the cross country rival.
Here
you know
we
what I'm
go.
saying?
Wow,
Nah, I just
cross-country
did.
rival.
Cross
country.
cross county.
Cross county. You know what I'm saying? Like cross the river or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
But I
you
thought it was
wanted
gonna
to
be a
see
little
more
bit of that.
Giants, but there's this that didn't surprise me. To tell you the truth, I feel like, given that it's Giants, Jets, two New York teams, kind of a little bit of a built-in rivalry. I feel like if anything, I would have expected them to go out of their way to not show any, show as little Giants as possible to really, solidify that this is the Jets show and we're not gonna, give too much love to the Giants.
That's.
But also, I mean, I think
thought it would be. I thought it was just, I thought it would have been dope because we played the Giants. We played the Jets late in the season. You know what I'm saying? That the Jets are better on paper than us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just thought they would make mention of it. Like, my fault. Go ahead, though, Fluff.
I don't know. I feel like I think the difference was maybe because it was like technically it was a Giants home game. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think maybe they wanted to pan out in the crowd, even though like they're at, it's the Aaron Rodgers debut, and there was probably, I didn't really see, but there was probably more Giants fans because it was a Giants home game. So
it was loud though. It was
Come
loud.
on. Who gives a shit if it's a Giants home game? It's the same home. I don't think it would have.
No.
It'd be more Giants fans. Only maybe because of season ticket holders.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, and they're not going to give those. They're not going to give those up. There's like.
You don't think so? If I'm a Giants season ticket holder and I could sell my Aaron Rodgers first pass in the fucking stadium tickets, and I'm a Giants fan.
Hell yeah, take that.
Yeah, you're right, but I don't know. I think you're looking at it from like logic sense, but if you should because I'm saying if you're like a season ticket holder, like you get the shit. Like when the teams are good, you get them to go to the games. Like when the team sucks, you start selling the tickets.
Not the
obviously,
preseason games. All the season ticket holders I know for the Giants and the Jets, they never go to the preseason games.
But that's what I'm saying.
Make back some of that cash by selling those preseason tickets.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, who? Like, I get it. Like, do you want to go and see Aaron Rodgers? Which I guess you could see him later on in the season, technically, but. It's like, who really wants to go? There's not really, I feel like there's not that many people that like buy tickets to go to a preseason game.
Yeah, but that's kind of my point. There's not a lot of people that buy tickets generally to go to a preseason game. The only thing about that specific game that would have inspired anybody to get tickets would have been the fact that it was Aaron Rodgers playing. And the people that would have been inspired by that would be Jets fans, not Giants.
Yeah, I mean, no, that makes sense. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of, the actual people who have the tickets, it's just the opposite.
So I enjoyed my favorite part of the Hard Knocks was the beginning with El Gran Combo. That to me was really like that. Even that entire opening montage where they have a Spanish song, New York theme, they show you the behind the scenes, all the prep. Like, to me, that's Hard Knocks. You know what I'm saying? And like this episode, the second to last episode, was the first episode that was a true
Yeah.
old school, felt like an old school Hard Knocks episode, from the music to the, to the all the, the like I said, the stuff with the D line going, having a meal together. They got into they show much. I felt like they show more of like the family members and the crowd and all that crap. Like, that's, to me, is what Hard Knocks is supposed to be about. I even thought it was important. It was a subtle thing that they did, but I thought it was good that when they did the interviews with the two young receivers, they're in the hotel, right? And I feel like that's an image that I'm used to seeing on Hard Knocks, because they're interviewing these dudes that don't have cribs because they're not cemented on the team. Like, that's the whole thing about Hard Knocks, is that half the time when you're watching the show, those interviews are being done in hotels, because they're talking to dudes that are just, on the fringe, trying to find their way, not dudes like, and they give you the contrast. Like, usually they will go and they'll do the young dudes in the tellies, and then they'll, whoever the superstar receiver or the, the veteran receiver, they'll go to their house, and the wife and the kids and the whole joint. Like, that, to me, is what Hard Knocks is. And it wasn't until this episode that they finally kind of had all of the elements of what the Hard Knocks, and how they're giving you that whole training camp experience, which is, to me, the point of the show. They didn't really get to it until this episode, but I thought that they finally hit the mark.
Yeah, I think I just go back to, like, I think the whole timeline just got fucking delayed and shit, just because of the late, the late, like the starting late in the game, or so late in the off season. Like everything, you gotta, it's like you gotta get into your. Yeah, but it's not really an excuse. It's like, there's only so much. I'm saying that there's only so much, like, for those young cats. It's like, if you're not there for long enough, like, you don't, you gotta know who they are. You gotta kind of project a story. You know what I'm saying? Like for when you're not just gonna grab whatever player at the bottom of the thing. You want to kind of tell us.
Hard Knocks?
Yeah, the first ones. But what I'm saying is, like, you want to try to tell a success story. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't only want to get, like, you're not going to get the
That's
the
not
backup
what Hard Knocks
center.
is. It's not a success story.
No, what I'm saying is, it's like a potential. Like, for example, like those two, Xavier Gibson and Jason Brownlee, like, like they showed them, like, that they're underdogs, and they're showing out in camp. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, obviously they ended up making the team, but that has nothing to do with it. But like, there's a story where they're gonna be there, like they're gonna have a trajectory on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they signed a backup running back, and then he gets cut 2 days later. That's like, you got to kind of get a feel for who's part of the team.
I completely disagree. You gonna say something? Word life?
Nah, I was gonna. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, man. But yeah, nah. I mean, this is the most Hard Knock like episode so far. But it was cool. I don't know. I kind of like the earlier ones a little more. I like the first one, the third one.
Really?
Yeah, I like the first one just because the hype to see Rodgers in there. And
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Hear him talking shit. And I like that about this. This is the one he was popping shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. I like
To
that.
the
I
Giants,
like
which I'm surprised that you like.
Yeah, nah, because I just like to see the, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we tap in for, the behind the scenes shit.
And that's the real stuff.
The details.
That's the real stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
He did
not
get
all
tagged,
this,
though.
like casing, like, hey, like all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
good
no,
guy
that
shit.
pretty
You know,
shit, yeah.
you gotta show the shit, like,
Yeah.
they showed why the type of competitor that he is in this episode. Like, they showed why the way he acts. You know what I'm saying? Like, him getting mad, pissed off, yelling, cursing, and all that shit.
This is the second
like,
time too.
Yeah, and the first one, it was like, oh, he's such a great guy, you know what I'm saying? Hey, like, oh, pals, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like kind of like, like that type of shit. Like, everything is
kumbaya
great.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, this show, like, that, but I think that's part of the story that they wanted to like. Oh, this guy's a great guy, but listen, on the field, he's fiery and all that shit. So
before we show this side, we gotta.
Yeah. We don't. Yeah. You gotta make sure that like we gotta show this first to kind of separate the narrative a little bit from like what they said he was in the Packers. Mm-hmm. They got to change that up a little bit and then go to that. If they go straight to that, it's gonna be like, oh, that's the asshole that everybody was talking about in the Packers.
Yeah, and I was listening to Reddit. A lot of people was like saying, oh, that they're so shocked. Like, how are you shocked that a fucking quarterback's talking shit? Like, anyway, and Ward hit him first. Jihad Ward hit him first. A little late. Jihad came out later now, I think like yesterday or today, saying that he was a little upset about the Cobb late hit or whatever. I mean, blindside hit. You know what I'm saying? But that's the rules, bro. That's the rules. But yeah. So it got a little chippy. It was dope to see. You know what I'm saying?
He said that the Jets were laughing when somebody got concussed.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The blindside hit.
Because he saw
he got concussed on that Cobb.
Yeah, he left the game. He left the game. Yeah, he left the game.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, I understand that part because, this kind of like cleared it up with the video and like the obviously like the mic'd up, like, what they were laughing about. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see people, if you see the team down, like 20 yards away, 15 yards away, and they're kind of laughing, and your teammate is getting helped up off the field, the first thing you're going to think is that they're talking about that and laughing about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I understand that. Because obviously that's what your mind, you're not thinking logically like that. Yeah. But, like when it's like if you shouldn't have waited till you saw what they were actually laughing about to actually say that, because then it just like, yo, so you already saw what the thing was. You could have just said, oh, I thought they were laughing at him. I saw the episode last night and whatever, and it changes it up. But now it just looks like you're just being phony, Yeah.
Yo, do you think Rodgers really know who Jihad Ward was?
Of course.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Nah, like, and plus it's like,
because I was just they're not
studying freaking, they're not studying their matchup their matchups like that early in the. And he's probably
Daniel Jones doesn't even know who Jihad Ward
is. Yo, DNR was like, no, Jihad Ward's been around for a while. They should know, but he knows. He definitely knows. I'm like, I want to be so sure that he knows who the fuck Jihad Ward is. Even though Jihad Ward, he's a solid player.
Yo, Urban Meyer didn't know who fucking Aaron Donald was.
And he didn't know who his kicker. Oh, that's true. That's even worse. He didn't know his kicker's name. You could call him the kicker.
Who's the guy that I kicked?
Yeah, he just knew to kick him. That was it.
Yeah, he was like, oh, kick. Oh yeah, remember that hip hop game? Kick.
Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, Parappa. And niggas like, oh, he kicks, kick.
Excellent.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So overall, what we liked it?
Yeah, that was my favorite episode so far. Yeah, so it made like, obviously it's my team, so I'm gonna feel that way about it. But like, I like this is a likable team, just because it's like, I know people like to play that it's like, oh, kind of like a super team and all this stuff. Like most of the players on this team are drafted by this team, have been on this team. Like there's like 4 players that are like gonna be significant. I don't even know if it's 4 significant like role players on the, obviously with Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, and Lazard. But besides that, it's pretty much the same team. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not like, like we got free agents and traded for all these pieces from all these different teams, which kind of takes the team feel away. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels it's just like hired guns. But this team is like, this is all Jets.
Yeah, I feel like watching or listening to the media and watching this shit. I feel like they're trying to, like, I feel like Jets, like they're trying to sell the offense when the season starts, the offense it's a defensive team. Like
Yeah.
the defense is the star studded. Like we just obsessed with offense because of moving the ball and Rodgers, but there's concerns on that offense. The defense is going to be the determining factor of the Jets' success.
There's more stars on defense as there is on offense.
The unit, and even Salah. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you feel more comfortable? Hackett running the offense with Rodgers or Salah and his defense? I feel more comfortable with Salah and his defense.
Yeah, man. These people are like these dudes. I mean, I get it. That's what everything is about. But it's like they're trying to make they're trying to make the story fit to like what they want to be able to tell the story later on. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to be able to build up the offense, because if the team fucks up, it's probably going to be the offense. And they want to be able to, see, this is what we were talking about, the concerns on this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, come on, man. Like, every freaking team has, like, every team has like, players, has units that are not fucking complete. Like, everybody, like, wants to talk about the Dolphins, but, like, what offensive line do the Dolphins have? Like, they literally just they almost literally got their quarterback killed last year, and somehow like their offensive line is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I don't understand. Like everything, they want to try to overblow everything. So
yeah, I got a lot. I've been so dived into the Jets. I got so. Like I just be thinking about them like sometimes. Like, and then me and my man we be
thinking about the Wolverine meme.
The cloud bubble. Bubble.
We be arguing. Me and my man be arguing because my brother's a Jet fan. So and then me and my man be arguing about the whole bust or not and Super Bowl or bust shit, and it's like
what I'm saying. But like we haven't won a Super Bowl in fucking over 50 years. It's Super Bowl or bust. Like, yo, I know. Like, when we get to that point where we get it, there's plenty of other teams.
Yeah.
The Bengals, the Chiefs.
No, I said the same shit. I said, like, wait, so is it? I said, is it Super Bowl or bust for the Eagles, Niners, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills? Like, why are we just saying that about the Jets?
Hold on a second. What are you confused about? What is that? A Super Bowl or bust because of the age of the quarterback.
Yeah,
that's the reason. That's the inspiration behind that theory.
I mean,
yeah, but is it a bust?
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's almost like, oh, you've got to win the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, okay, fine. Like if you think that's fine, but it's like it's. Everybody in the league fails besides one team. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not realistic to be Super Bowl or bust. The team didn't
It's
sign
not realistic for the Jets, or it's not realistic in general.
Just in general.
Okay, but the
general,
Super Bowl of bust is going to be uttered and said long after you, I, all of us are dead in the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's just. I guess then it's just stupid.
I think it's stupid. I think it's propaganda to say it and it's like, yo, I'm like, yo, stop falling for. I told my man, he gets mad. He goes, yo, I was like, yo, you fall for the propaganda. You listen to the media, he gets mad. But it's like, bro, like, let the Jets get to the fucking playoffs. Let them get passed around.
Can we play a game?
Attention to that shit though. Like,
I
don't care so much.
Because people get into that shit like, nah, it's Super Bowl, but you're crazy. I don't know.
I don't listen to, like, as soon as they start doing that, I just turn it off. I just turn off the radio.
It's so hard to.
But the thing is, it's like it's constantly being brought up as a thing. Mm-hmm. When it's like, like it's just like a cheesy, ooh, who do you think's got it? Who do you think's for real in the AFC North this year? Like,
but they said the same thing when Brady went to the Bucks. It was Super Bowl or bust. Like,
you think so?
You're gonna tell me that? Come on, what are you doing? Right.
I don't feel like it was like that. I mean,
Okay, so then let's just move on because this
I don't
now
recall,
now we
honestly.
got the green glasses being put back on. So
Cheeks literally just said the same thing. I don't feel
I
like
don't
it,
recall. I don't recall. I don't recall. I said it. I
no,
don't
I don't.
recall if Brady was.
I mean, obviously, based on where we are, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, we hear it more here.
exactly.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
They
saying.
probably
So it's
said it
like,
in Tampa.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like if I didn't really feel like it was Super Bowl or bust, like I expected them to be good, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like, and I mean that team had a lot of late.
Listen, it's
you know,
fucking Super Bowl or fucking bust for the Jets. Just live with it, deal with it, and embrace it. Wrap your arms around it. Make out with the expectations. Don't run from it. Don't be scared. It's Super Bowl or bust. That's what it is.
I disagree.
No, it is. You can't disagree. It's Super Bowl or bust. That's it.
No, because I'm not gonna.
If they don't win the Super Bowl, the season is a waste. It's a failure.
I'm not
Tired of you running away, man. Don't
No,
be
that's not
scared.
No, but that's not the point. The point is like I'm not worried about that shit right now. Like,
Yes, you are. Then why are we talking about it? I didn't bring it up.
No.
I did.
About it.
No, he brought it up. But what I'm saying is, it's like, I'm not, like, we've been talking about this shit. I just want to get the game started. I want to watch the games. I want to see the teams.
So then
like,
don't
when I
about
see
whether it's Super Bowl or
when
bust.
yeah, I know, but that's what that's all I was saying. But what I'm saying is, like, I want to watch the game. I want to see the team. Like, when I see the team and I see them playing, like, I gotta see how everything is working to know if it's Super Bowl or bust. If not, like, I want because I want to be able to be excited after every game, not like I gotta wait and see until
So then
February to
just
see.
games. What do you mean you got to figure out if it's Super Bowl or bust? There is no there is Super Bowl or bust or there's not Super Bowl or bust, and it doesn't start after you watch a couple of games. That's a preseason prediction. It's not okay. We made it to the Super Bowl. Now it's Super Bowl or bust.
No,
yeah, exactly.
That's that to me. That's the dumbest shit. The Super Bowl or bust for any team.
It's just stupid conversation.
Propaganda.
Who cares? Like the whole idea of Super Bowl or bust is that given this team, given the composition of the team, given the status of all of the relevant players from the coach to the quarterback to everybody involved, there is expectations of Super Bowl, and if they fall woefully short of those expectations, it will be considered a bust or a failure. That's the idea behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's unfair.
Yeah, but there's room in between. That's what I'm saying.
In between what?
In Super Bowl or bust. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what the bust is, and I know what the Super Bowl is. But there's shit in the middle that can still have you excited for the next year.
So get excited for the next year. Why do you have to wait to decide after I watch the team? I'll know if it's Super Bowl or bust. I have to watch them first.
Hey,
who cares if it's Super Bowl? Why do you need to decide if it's Super Bowl or
but
bust?
I'm not the one saying I'm not the one who asked the question.
It's the media.
Okay, but you're telling me that you got to watch the team to decide if it's Super Bowl or bust. Why do you have to decide if it's Super Bowl or bust? Why does it have to be? Why do you have to adhere to the expectations and the conversation of the media? You could just watch the games, and if they lose every game, you could still watch and enjoy the games. Who cares?
I'm literally trying to say that.
Imagine that shit. That would suck.
That'd be great.
How about AFC Championship game or bust? How about that?
Yo, bro,
so this whole or bust is what
the
expectations are and what you will consider to have been a success and what you will consider to not have been a success, right? Can we agree on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously it starts with Super Bowl as a success, undeniably, undoubtedly, right? Okay, losing the Super Bowl, is that a success?
I would think so.
But by definition, it's not a success.
Yeah, but is it a successful season?
I'm asking you a question.
It's a successful season, yes. It's a successful season. It's not a success.
Losing in the AFC Championship, success or no?
Yeah, I mean, if it's to the Chiefs and they look like the Chiefs again, then yeah, maybe.
Regardless of
I'm
Yeah,
who
not
they
losing.
play.
maybe.
I'm not losing to. I'm not losing to
Scorching
the
hot take.
Chargers.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
not. I gotta see
I
how it
say
I
looks.
gotta
yeah. I
see.
say yes. I say yes. I say yes.
Nah, I'm not losing to the Chargers. I'm not
Bro,
losing to the
if the Chargers
Ravens.
beat the
I'm not
Chiefs and the
losing.
Bengals to get there, it's
That's what I'm
and you
saying.
lose to them,
I feel like you're
it's success.
overthinking this.
It's a success. I say success.
If they make it to the AFC Championship game, whoever they're playing has earned the right to the AFC Championship game too.
Still, I gotta wait and see.
Okay, I gotta wait and see.
I think
Scorching
anything
hot
under the,
take. Wait, hold on. You hear that, folks? I gotta wait and see.
that's like Dave Rosenberg. He says the same shit. Can I wait to see the Giants? Can I wait? I'm like, bro, just fucking. Just, he's protecting himself. Like he doesn't want to
That's
jump the
what
gun.
this
But
all is. That's what when you recoil at people saying Super Bowl or bust, that's all it is. It's protecting yourself. That's
Yeah,
what
but
this
because
is.
well, because the thing is, it's like I'm not like, oh, like there's fans. Like I have a friend. He's bet on the Giants to win the Super Bowl every single year. Like I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the type of fan that I am. So it's not like, oh yeah, the Giants are gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
What
like
does betting
no,
have to do
nigga.
with it, though?
Well, no.
'Cause he
Well,
believes
if you were to bet for the
My-
Jets, this will be the first time in a long time
No.
that you should bet for the Jets.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, like people be. Like, I'm not the type of fan that's like, yeah, we're taking it this year. Like, yo, you root for the Steelers, man. You're not winning the Super Bowl this year. I know, like they're going to be a good team, obviously, but Kenny Pickett's not going to win the Super Bowl this year.
You don't know
Daniel
that.
Jones is not going to win the Super Bowl this
You
year.
don't know that either.
Nah,
You could have came into last year telling me Jalen Hurts isn't going to take the Eagles to the Super Bowl easily. There's no way anybody came into last year talking about Jalen Hurts is going to lead Philadelphia to the Super Bowl. No chance.
Yeah, but
Come
I
on,
don't.
Flex. Stop yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. Stop.
How about when the Giants won the
Jalen
Super
Hurts
Bowl?
was the MVP candidate going into the season.
What?
He was.
What do you mean? What do you mean he was an MVP candidate going into the season?
Like one of the
how
early-
are you an MVP candidate without playing
Like
in the
early
games?
voters?
You can look up. Yeah, you can look up the preseason MVP odds right now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now. Let's see what the preseason MVP odds are.
Oh yeah, they were just doing this.
Anyway,
it was,
preseason MVP and leading your team to a Super Bowl is two different things. I don't think anybody is saying that that Kenny Pickett should be getting odds to be the MVP of the league, but that's a whole different situation. Anyway, I don't agree. Your point is that you're I don't know what point you're trying to make by saying that we all know Kenny Pickett and Daniel Jones aren't gonna go to the Super Bowl. I don't agree with that. I don't know what the point of that is. Go ahead.
Well, my point is that I'm not just like the fan that just like, yeah, we're gonna take it all. Like I have to see. I have to be reasonable. I have to see what's going on to be able to be like.
You're lying right now. That's not true. Why are you lying?
Once I see something,
Did you
that's
hear?
when I know.
We should go back and listen to the week 1, 2, 3 episodes from last year and how you were talking about the Jets.
Yeah, and it pretty much came true, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and then
How about that Browns game?
I was
Did
hyping
that
up.
come true?
I was hyping up Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
once
did that
he stunk.
come true?
No, it didn't.
Okay, so what are we
but I'm not
talking
gonna.
about?
So, but that's like me. That's me coming out and saying like, "Oh yeah, Zach Wilson's gonna, you know, he's gonna win it all this year." Like, if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers, it's not the case. But there's people who will do that. That's not me. I like to see what's going on. I like to see how other teams look, and
I feel like you're dancing. You're trying to dance on both sides of the line there.
both sides.
Because if you get a prediction, you can't sit here and say, I like to see, I don't like to this, and then take a victory lap for a prediction that you get right, and then not care about the predictions that you get wrong. That doesn't work.
That's what everybody does.
Yeah, and I'm calling everybody out because that doesn't work.
Yeah, well, it's
like you made plenty of predictions about the Jets last year that were right, and you made plenty of predictions last year about the Jets that were dead
so
wrong.
We call it even.
Okay, but your point that you're trying to make now is that I'm not a homer. I don't make predictions. I gotta see. That's what I'm calling you out on. And this bogus, I'm not a homer. I'm very rational. I know fans that they make these predictions. I'm not like that. I gotta see. No, you don't gotta see. You make predictions too, like everybody else. Everybody does that. That's what you just said.
Yes, but we're talking about a Super Bowl. This is the extreme. You can't come back from this. It's like you know.
Okay, so
like
you're telling me
I'm gonna hold
somebody who's predicting that the Giants are gonna win the Super Bowl and they're serious.
Of course.
Okay, so that person is just delusional. That's fine.
Okay, well that
you know why he did that? Because that year that we won it, we weren't supposed to win it. We weren't even supposed to be there.
Well, yeah, but that's my point. That's why I'm not going to sit here and really say that I'm definitively going to say anybody's not going to make it to or not going to win a Super Bowl because we don't know.
Yeah.
Fine.
All right, let's talk Giants roster and what were we going with?
How do you feel about
what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break.
No.
We're going to towel off. We're going to cool down. I'm going to have a lovely scotch on the rocks, and then we're going to come back and we're going to rank receivers. And in ranking receivers, I think we can. I think I'm very interested in what your take will be on specifically the Giants receivers from a fantasy standpoint. Is there value there, or is there not value? You'll have to wait until coming up next.
Hey, what song we using? What song we using on the break?
Pound Town.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was featured on it, but then the second one you were gonna do another one that's why I asked, and we used the same one. That's why I asked. No, it don't matter. I really don't give a fuck. Nobody wants to hear that bullshit.
Champion, they trying to feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'ma call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying, no waiting for my mans to show up. Cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave.
Hey, yo, Element, what's good, girl? Fucking man out here. This fucking streets got a nigga going crazy, huh? It's like a house of screams, done. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm way much chiller than most. I ain't frontin' at all. I'm flirting with maintaining and broke. But who you know that's iller with words? Yeah, clearly disturbed. That really actually dealt with some coke. Elmhurst where they murdering folk. 15 years later and I'm still here serving you dope. Only now it's informing some mean bars is cream, but some are more chasing that green card is Queen's Guard. Better learn how to think fast. These bitch ass niggas that's off to some bitch ass. Assault them, throw salt in their wounds. That's deeper than watching loved ones cook boy in a spoon. This for young boys locked in a room. Group homes, no visits, turn vicious, feel alive in the tomb. Young guys watch most of them coons. Yeah, they lying, they zoom. The loot of life they ain't never consumed. For my niggas gonna light it up. I provide provide a feeling one can only get while being cuffed on a Rikers bus. Whole killers say they side with us. We keep a bag of iron sticks like we play for the Riders Cup. Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? Huh? Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? Huh? I'm trying to tell them, done. I hear them screams, man. Ain't nobody gonna help you out of that one, son. You gotta find your own way, done. Yeah? Queen, Philly.
Fresh champion, they trying to feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'ma call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying, no waiting for my mans to show up. Cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave. Fresh champion, they trying to feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'ma call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying, no waiting for my mans to show up. Cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave.
Hey, yo, Element, what's good, girl? These fucking streets got a nigga going crazy, It's like a house of screams, done. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm way much chiller than most. I ain't frontin' at all. I'm flirting with maintaining and broke. But who you know that's iller with words? Yeah, clearly disturbed. That really actually dealt with some coke. Elmhurst where they murdering folk. 15 years later and I'm still here serving you dope. Only now it's informers of mean bars. It's cream, but some are more chasing that green card. It's Queen's Guard. Better learn how to think fast. These bitch ass niggas that's off to some bitch ass. Assault them, throw salt in their wounds. That's deeper than watching loved ones cook boy in the spoon. Just for young boys locked in a room. Group homes, no visits, turn vicious, feel alive in the tomb. Young guys watch most of them coons. Yeah, they lying, they zooms. A loot of life they ain't never consumed. So my niggas gonna light it up. I provide a feeling one can only get while being cuffed on a Rikers bus. Whole killers say they side with us. We keep a bag of iron sticks like we play for the Riders Cup. Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? Huh? Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? Huh? I'm trying to tell them, done. I hear them screams, man. Ain't nobody gonna help you out of that one, son. You gotta find your own way, done. Yeah? Queen, Philly.
Fresh champion, they trying to feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'ma call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying, no waiting for my mans to show up, cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave. Champion, they tryna feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'ma call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying, no waiting for my mans to show up, cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave.
Hey, yo, Element, what's good, God? These fucking streets got a nigga going crazy, It's like a house of screams, done. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm way much chiller than most. I ain't frontin' at all. I'm flirting with maintaining and broke. But who you know that's iller with words? Yeah, clearly disturbed. That really actually dealt with some coke. Elmhurst where they murdering folk. 15 years later and I'm still here serving you dope. Only now it's informers some mean bars. It's cream, but some are more chasing that green card. It's Queen's Guard. Better learn how to think fast. These bitch ass niggas that's off to some bitch ass. Assault them, throw salt in their wounds. That's deeper than watching loved ones cook boy in the spoon. This for young boys locked in a room. Group homes, no visits, turn vicious, feel alive in the tomb. Young guys watch most of them coons. Yeah, they lying, they zoom. The loot of life they ain't never consumed. So my niggas gonna light it up. I provide a feeling one can only get while being cuffed on the Rikers bus. Whole killers say they side with us. We keep a bag of iron sticks like we play for the Riders Cup. Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? Queens and Philly once again, what can fuck with us? I'm trying to tell them, done. I hear them screams, man. Ain't nobody gonna help you out of that one, son. You gotta find your own way, done. Yeah? Queen, Philly.
Champion, they tryna feel the ambience. Never seen nothing quite like the aliens. I'ma call the alliance, you call the ambulance. Before they even show up, your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds, I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes, got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious, make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth, I'm spraying red, no paying, no waiting for my mans to show up, cause I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second, like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights, I can't let you leave. champion, they trying to feel.
We will widely receive her.
Ooh.
First,
Wait, I have one take that I remember that I didn't want to forget.
Okay, what's this? What's this take? Hold on. Should
This-
I put
this
some sort of sound, some sort of?
No. This is more of an observation, and I want to make sure that the things don't go sideways. I think Cheeks will appreciate this and probably agree. This actually goes back to.
What about me? Will I appreciate it and agree, or I won't?
Well, I think.
Are we back?
I'm just fucking around.
I think you're gonna agree,
Okay.
but he's
we
gonna
back?
appreciate.
Yeah, we're back now.
Okay.
Because this goes back to the episode 3 of Hard Knocks with the with Jerome Cap and the freestyle for the rookie.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't. There's one thing I don't like. It's not gonna.
Yes.
There's one thing I don't like about this. People are starting to hijack the Shook Ones beat as if somehow it's an Eminem beat or an Eminem thing and not a Mobb Deep thing.
Yeah.
I think credit is starting. It's almost like oh, that's just the Shook Ones beat. But that's from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping an eye on that because I don't like where that's going.
True. It is. That's the 8 Mile.
That's a good
beat,
take.
yeah.
What have you experienced or heard on the heels of that whole thing that made you think about that?
I'm just getting too much like Eminem. There's no mention of Mobb Deep. It's all Eminem. He had the Eminem performance and he quote tweeted him and stuff like that. It's like, yo, yeah, this is not Detroit. This is not Eminem thing. This is not a Detroit thing. This is just a movie.
Did they even play the beat? He was a cappella. What he did was purely an Eminem thing. They didn't play the beat at all.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is that they're taking, people are, I saw one video that they put the beat over it.
I heard that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and they do, and then they re-put, they use it as an opportunity to 8 Mile and the freestyle and all that stuff and how iconic that was. Like, the shit was iconic because of the beat that they use and how iconic that beat is in history, especially New York history, especially Queens history, especially that era of New York hip hop. There's never any mention of Mobb Deep when I see that stuff floating around.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't like that.
And we have to be. It's important that we do share those little things because it's like, we forget that there's a generation of people that have no idea what the fuck Mobb Deep is.
That's my point. So it's like it's slowly even you saw them even the team, you could see them repeating the song and everything like that and all the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, some of these dudes are 22, 23, 24, 25. This, that song came out before they were born. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? I don't, you gotta remind, if we're gonna still keep that as an iconic moment, you gotta make sure that the song, because the song was iconic. The reason that they used that beat is because of how iconic that song was. He didn't make that beat iconic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great point.
Just want to remind everybody.
Thank you for that.
So let it be written, so let it be done. I co-signed that with a pound on the desk.
Yeah, you should do that. That's NBC or CBS.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more. I wish I had a fucking gavel. I think I do have one, but somewhere in my toy bin. Anyway.
I got blood on it.
So we've already done. We've done tight ends, fantasy football tight ends for the season. We've done quarterbacks. We've done running backs. Flex missed running backs, but fortunately, we are moving on to the wide receivers. What do you want about running backs? You got any sleepers for people?
I got all my. I had a fantasy
Word
draft.
Life and I had big disagreements on the fantasy running
back.
I took so many running backs.
All kidding aside, the one disagreement that I think we had, I changed my mind. I think I'm on your side now, though, because I feel like the one that we really were on opposite ends of was David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I feel like that was really the one where I was like, nah, I don't.
It's funny because I left that and I convinced myself, because you know how you're thinking, but you don't verbalize it, and then after we verbalized it, I was like, I think I like Montgomery.
No, I mean, you said that last week, and I didn't agree. Not that I didn't like it. Like I said, it's not that I don't think he's talented. I just don't think that he's going to get enough touches to have the fantasy value to, to appropriately Detroit, justify his current ADP. Yeah. But thinking about it more, I still am concerned with the amount of touches that he gets, but I feel like I was a little bit too. I feel like I was being a little bit too no. I'm not interested. I'm not even going to give him a look. Whereas,
I don't think you're wrong about that, though.
He's telling you he's wrong. After I told him he was wrong, let him fucking tell me he's wrong. What the hell?
No, like I said, I still do. My concerns are still my concerns. I just feel like I was a little bit more emphatic, a little bit more, just kind of like not like a no-go with him. Whereas the more I started doing more mock drafts. I started digging deeper into the running back depth charts, and there's just so many splits that I was just kind of like, you know what? The one thing about Montgomery, even though he's in a split, and even though I don't expect him to get enough touches to have too much fantasy value, the one thing that I don't think it was front of mind when we were talking about it last week, is the fact that the Lions have a good offensive line. So when you compare
offensive lines,
when you compare like if a guy's gonna get 12 touches behind a shit offensive line versus Montgomery, if he's gonna get 12 touches behind a good offensive line, his value is probably a little bit higher. So that's all I'm saying is I feel like that was the one that we disagreed on. I felt like we were the most apart on. And I think I'm coming a little bit closer to the middle. I'm not a total no-go with him, but I still am concerned about the volume and the work that he's going to get.
No, definitely. I agree with that, too.
Yeah, because I think, when you take a running back, 12? Yeah, he was 12. You're going to want to try to highlight, and you're going to take advantage of that draft pick as early as possible. And I just think they're going to try to show everybody how smart they were, use them like Alvin Kamara, all that stuff. And, they, I think that they like to use their tight ends. Amon-Ra St. Brown too. He's a beast in the middle. So
I like the offensive coordinator.
But the thing is, you mentioned the tight ends. I still have an eyebrow raised at that T.J. Hawkinson trade.
Yeah,
that trade was still weird to me.
I think that may have been more like a philosophy thing where, maybe they just knew, because he just got T.J. Hawkinson. I don't know if you saw, he just got $17 million a year.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like for a tight end, that's got to be
he's a weapon.
That's got to. Yeah, but I'm saying it's still like, I think that's what it was. Like they knew that's what he was. They probably had a feel for that's what he wanted in the off season, so that's why they got rid of him. Like, so they just went younger with it or whatever. And I think it might just be a philosophy thing, but especially Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell was a tight end, if I'm not mistaken.
He was a tight end. It was.
So I think
his come up was started as a tight end coach.
So I think that that's probably what he. He's probably has a vision, just like every other position player. He probably has a vision of what type of player he likes at the position that was his. So, like T.J. Hawkinson, obviously stud receiver and everything like that, but maybe he wants a different type of, because if I'm not mistaken, they drafted the kid from Iowa, and those Iowa tight ends, Iowa offensive linemen. It's all about like running the ball, tough-minded, a tough mentality. So I think that was just like what they wanted in that position, and I just think down in the red zone, it's gonna be a lot of rushing, yeah, probably, but they just signed Zonovan Knight from the Jets to their active roster, and that line obviously is gonna push. So somebody's gonna get a lot of touchdowns, but we just have to see who that person is going to be. So it's either, you're going to be good on David Montgomery, or you're just going to be pissed off, because you drafted him too high with David Montgomery.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is it was really just the place where he's being drafted more so, because that's for me is that, like, when people ask me, what do you think about this player, what do you think about that player, I never really have anything to say, because it doesn't matter to me. You gotta give me a comp. You gotta tell me where they're being drafted, because like somebody say, what do you think about this player, I'm like, or like pure example, if we're talking about, I mean, let's just stick with David Montgomery. For me, I would look at him as probably, if he's around 5th or 6th round fantasy wise, I'm interested, but he's going closer to 3rd or 4th round. So that's why I'm looking at it like the players that I see available at 3rd or 4th round, I would rank above Montgomery, but that's not because I don't like him, and that's not because I don't think that he has the capability of having a productive season. I just personally, when you give me those comps, I would rather invest that elsewhere. That's all.
Yeah, because of what he's, they spent a high draft pick on somebody who they want to feature. So, you got to be a little gun shy when it comes to like dedicating a high draft pick to a person that it's a toss up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but now we're gonna get into wide receivers, because this is the last thing that we got to do. We've covered all of the other major positions, and now it's up to the wide receivers.
Yep. Where you getting your list from?
Don't worry about where I'm getting my list from.
I just want to be on the
I'm going with the Fantasy Pros consensus.
Oh shit! Okay. I don't know what that is.
So they have them in tiers, but they also have them ranked. I'll just go down the list. You tell me if you think that anybody is too high, too low, who you're interested in, who you're eyeing late rounds, who you're staying away from early, etc., etc. You know how we do it. So, consensus number one, and I've seen this everywhere. It's not just Fantasy Pros. I don't think you're going to find a wide receiver list this season that does not have Justin Jefferson ranked number 1. I disagree with it, but I don't think you're going to find a list that doesn't have him ranked number 1.
Why do you I took him number 1 overall in my fantasy draft. I'm curious to why you disagree.
I disagree because of the loss of Thielen and the addition of Hawkinson.
Yeah, but I mean, he was I think it's like week 5 or week 6 that he was that Hawkinson went to the Vikings.
Yeah.
Last year.
Uh-huh.
And I mean Thielen was kind of washed up at last year for the whole season really. I mean they added.
Well, that's kind of my point.
Addison.
Yeah, they added Addison.
I just think that if you look at this year's Vikings compared to last year's Vikings, Justin Jefferson will continue to be obviously the number 1 target, but I expect him to see less total targets this year. I expect him to see less red zone targets this year, and that is enough for me to drop him down a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to be trash. I would have him number 2. I just wouldn't have him number 1.
So you got Chase 1?
Yeah, I'll take Chase.
Chase.
Remember Dalvin Cook's not there anymore, so that's kind of like a.
But to me, that's also a negative for Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. I think that offense as a whole is going to have some growing pains early in the season. They might not be quite as productive as they were last year. That's my view of it. I feel like I feel like you don't have the same type of a threat coming out of the backfield, so you can assign more attention to Justin Jefferson. You know, obviously he wasn't sneaking up on anybody last year, but without Dalvin Cook and with an unproven number 2, the addition of Hawkinson as and we know that the other thing is Kirk Cousins loves him some tight ends, bro. He hasn't had one really the last couple of years on a consistent basis, but historically, I mean, whether it was this dude that kept getting concussed every game multiple times a game, that dude, whether it was him or when it was he. I mean, how many times did he throw the ball to this guy, Vernon Davis, who's now fucking hosting challenge reunions?
Unbelievable.
So that's the only. I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I'm not saying. All I'm saying is I disagree with putting him number 1. That's all. I'm not saying he's gonna have a bad year. I just don't. I just like, I look at it this way. Him and Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is gonna get a higher volume if he stays healthy, and I just like the quarterback way better.
Yeah, I mean, like we're nitpicking here, so it's like it's, you know, they're all studs or whatever, but you know, like the thing with the Bengals is, you know, like you have T. Higgins that they have to feed, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's the other thing is that I'm curious about. I'm a little iffy on T. Higgins. I mean, this is good because we'll get to him eventually, because in a lot of the drafts, mock drafts that I do based on where I'm drafting, a lot of times the best, quote-unquote, best receiver available in my second round is T. Higgins, and I don't know how I feel about taking T. Higgins this coming year because, A, I don't expect him to be there after this year. Mm-hmm. That's number 1. How that impacts what kind of targets he has, what kind of vibe he has with Burrow, what kind of, you know, what they're willing to assign to him in terms of the game plan. I don't know how it affects it, but that's a concern of mine. And I mean, it's just Chase and Burrow are a pair that will be linked forever, like Montana and Rice. Like that's how it's looking, and that's how I expect it to go down. They're gonna prioritize Chase. They'll lose everybody before they lose Chase and Burrow.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think it would behoove them to kind of, you know, almost like what they do with the running back position is like to make sure they use them. If they're not going to keep them, if the plan isn't to keep Higgins, you might as well he's going to want to ball out anyway, and you might want to get him, force feed him a little bit, because in return, like if Chase Higgins, if you're just going Chase, and he's killing it, he's putting up crazy numbers or whatever, that's only going to raise his price. And if that's the one that you're going to keep, the one who you should be kind of like trying to.
The GM is not making the passes. Joe Burrow is the one throwing the ball. So
no,
I don't think that he's putting into consideration, I don't want to throw the ball to Chase too much because that's going to increase his price. Like, he throws the ball to Chase more than anybody because that's his man, and he's the one throwing the ball. What the GM wants doesn't really have too much influence on it, like in terms of who's actually throwing the passes.
No, I understand, but the thing is, it's like you know, first of all, you want to take advantage of him being there, one, and second, also like the skill set that he offers. You know, it's something, you know, you throw those balls up, and in the red zone, you know. Obviously, he wasn't very good in the red zone this year. But what I'm saying is he has the body type.
You just negated your own point.
No. But what I'm saying is that's what you want.
The red zone target is Jamar Chase. It's not T. Higgins.
Yes, but what I'm saying is it would make sense for that to shift over a little bit.
Okay.
Like,
all right, fine. You asked me. I told you why I put Chase over Jefferson. I don't want to spend the whole podcast doing Chase or Jefferson. We have a whole list of receivers.
All I was doing was giving the opposite thing. Because if we all agree, then, you know, the short.
Okay, but we've already made it clear we don't agree. Let's move on.
Okay.
1 and 2, Jefferson and Chase, I'll word life. I'll give you your opportunity to comment on number 2 being Chase being number 2.
I don't think you could really. I feel like receiver is like one of those positions. Like the top 2, top 3 are like intertwinable. Jefferson, Chase. I kind of lean towards Chase over Jefferson this year just because the full team and just because he was the number 1 last year. Justin Jefferson was everybody's number 1 receiver last year. Is like I kind of feel like he's kind of everyone's attention, even though weekly you kind of do just pick on the best receiver, but I kind of lean towards Chase over Justin.
And I'm glad you brought that up because let's not forget the first guy who said to say that Justin Jefferson was the best receiver in the league was me. I was the first guy. Said it way early last year, and then after the Buffalo game, everybody jumped on the bandwagon. But I said it way before that.
Yeah, I love how
taking my lap.
Go ahead. Take your lap.
Go ahead.
No, I just love how I thought we were trying to get off of the fucking Jefferson and move down the list because we spent the whole time arguing on 1 and 2, and then he brings it back.
So number 3, Tyreek Hill. Number 4 is Cooper Kupp. And rounding out the top 5 is Stephon Diggs. Do we have any issue with any of those 3?
Yeah, I don't like Kupp up there, bro. Am I bugging?
You don't like Kupp up there?
4?
I mean, you can't argue with the production that he puts up or whatever, and also it's like.
So who do you like? For?
He's gonna force feed him. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean,
Diggs
over.
You're putting Diggs over Kupp?
Yeah,
Diggs is. I think Diggs is better, but I don't know, man. You keep hearing all that stuff coming out of Buffalo about him not driving.
Yeah, that's a concern. But what is your issue with Kupp? I don't know if I fully.
For fantasy purposes, I don't think that he's like
he's great for fantasy purposes.
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Are you concerned
about him coming back? PPR, no. When he was healthy, he was by leaps and bounds the best fantasy wide receiver.
Yeah,
by a lot.
Yeah, but it's just
unless you're telling me you think it's
what are the
be
Rams
an issue
now
with the Rams offense, or if you think that he's still
they have one of the worst O lines. They have one of the worst O lines. They have no running game. Stafford's a year older. I don't know. It just seems like that organization of at least I don't know. Just the offense doesn't jump out like it did 2 years ago with Odell and Kupp and
Odell was there for 5 minutes. Odell wasn't.
Odell
was not a big part of the Rams offense.
He was a big part of that Super Bowl win, though.
He had 4 catches and he blew out his knee. I don't know if I would say. I think he had the potential to be a big part, but he was a big part of the Super Bowl win.
Yeah, sleeping on Ben Skoranek.
There you go. Him too. No, but he came up big in big downs. Those were big catches.
It wasn't out of the first half. I mean, how big were the downs?
When they needed to move the ball, he got down there
in the first quarter. You're right. I hear you, but I mean,
so I'm bugging that.
I just think that you're elevating Odell and his time with the Rams, and you're taking down Cooper. Kupp is the Rams'
not what I'm trying to
best
do.
receiver, maybe of all time.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying, as a team, as a full team, the Rams are not. The Rams, I think so about me. The Rams are not that hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, what's the weapons there?
Yeah, but see, this is the thing about wide receivers is like, on one hand, like for example, you make the argument to like he's going to get all the targets because he's the only guy there. But then on the other side, you can make the target then the defense is going to key in on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how it plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be good enough to where like he's unstoppable, and it just seems like he's pretty much unstoppable because no matter
he's healthy,
no matter
he's
how bad, like the Rams offense isn't going to be any worse than it was last year. Like, because remember who was
he was doing work until he got hurt last year.
He got hurt.
And also remember
he was on
that
pace to be the number 1 receiver again.
Matt Stafford got hurt as well. So you got to take that into account. And also, I mean, the other thing is, for your side, if you're going to make the argument not, I would say it would be the injury one, because I think that just popped up that he's unsure. I think it was him. He's unsure for week 1. So, like, because he aggravated his injury. So if that's the lane you're going to take, but in terms of like if he's healthy, he's gonna put in work. So you know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna knock him down, I think that's the reason you should knock him down. Because he does have an injury bug every once in a while, but I don't think it's because he could be stopped.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess for me, with everything that we just talked about, I don't know if I'm.
It just seems. I know. It's hard because he doesn't do anything really spectacular. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like
he's a GOAT. He's one. Yeah, he's but
he's a different. You know what I'm saying? He gets his money differently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah, and listen, I was late to the Cooper Cup believer train. I was not a believer for a long time, but what I saw and like once he made that connection with Stafford and what I saw there, plus I trust. I trust Sean McVay. Sean McVay has made things out of that offense when he hasn't had a full offensive line, when he hasn't had, without Todd Gurley, without a super productive run game, he still turned that chicken shit into chicken salad with those pieces. I mean, he took Jared Goff to the Super Bowl. I mean, listen, Jared Goff has proven that he can be alright in Detroit. But I trust him enough. Plus, like you said, the whole thing with Diggs and where he stands with the organization, and I'm not crazy about drafting a guy that's gonna face Sauce Gardner twice a year. I'd rather stick with a guy that's gonna be facing the Cardinals, and I mean Woolen obviously is a legit corner as well, but I don't know, man. Playing outside, I try to stay away from bad weather receivers and quarterbacks in fantasy if I can. If it's a close one and there's a tiebreaker, I'll take the guy that plays indoors in LA. So come weeks 15, 16, if I'm in the championship, I know I can play him comfortably and know he's not going to be in a fucking snowstorm with no catches, because I've gotten burned with that a couple times where, like, your best receiver ends up playing in Buffalo in December for your fantasy playoffs, and, it's 40-mile-an-hour winds and there's no offense to be had. Like, if it's a close one, I'll lean towards the guy playing indoors or in LA.
That makes sense.
How do you feel about Tyreek Hill? We skipped right over him at 3.
Yeah, I think he's right where he needs to be.
He's gonna get his eyes. I can't stand it. Just in general.
Let's
just
not
like
make
in
this
general.
Personal. Let's just stick to the numbers, please.
It's just like he's just such a POS.
There's a lot of POSs in the NFL. Let's just stick to the numbers, please. No objections to Tyreek Hill at 3?
No, but I mean, it all depends on, like, are they gonna start like kind of ushering in more like Jalen Waddle? Because it's like you
do have objections to Tyreek Hill at 3.
No. That's just a question.
All right, so let's move on.
Okay.
We got a long list here. Diggs at 5, completing the top 10. A.J. Brown at 6, CeeDee Lamb at 7, Devontae Adams at 8, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 9, Garrett Wilson at 10, Jalen Waddle. Well, no, let's close it out with Garrett Wilson at 10, because they have this tiered with Jalen Waddle closing out the second tier at 11. But that completes the top 10. Those 5.
One of those 5 again?
The first 2?
So A.J. Brown is 6, CeeDee Lamb is 7, Devontae Adams 8, Amon-Ra St. Brown 9, Garrett Wilson 10. Now, I would put CeeDee Lamb probably at the bottom of that list of 5.
You're right.
I wouldn't have him above Amon-Ra St. Brown. I definitely wouldn't. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Garrett Wilson. I wouldn't have him above Garrett Wilson. CeeDee Lamb is, I don't know, man. He's a tricky one for me because he can be very hot and cold. He's not particularly consistent. There's a part of me that is curious as to what that offense is going to look like this year, because it kind of seems like they intend on kind of trying to protect Dak, or maybe not protect him, but try to not have the game be too much in his hands. We were live when that whole Trey Lance trade took place. Not that has anything to do with the receivers, but what does that mean for the status of Dak Prescott and the overall running game that they plan on moving forward with, or the overall passing game that they plan on moving forward with? They just got a new offensive coordinator. I don't know. I'm just not super high on CeeDee Lamb.
Who's the offensive coordinator?
McCarthy.
No, he's not the OC. He's the head coach.
Oh no, he's calling the plays though.
I forget who they hired.
McCarthy's calling the offense though.
Yes. So anyway, CeeDee Lamb is my only. I just feel like that's a little bit high for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I agree.
Just you going through that just made it like, why are the people so high on the Cowboys? But
for me, I look at it like this: if I could, as much of a kind of, I don't even know how to describe him, washed. If I could have CeeDee Lamb's number 7 overall, or if I could pick up Brandon Cooks in like the 6th, 7th round.
Give me Cooks.
Not to say that they're going to have the same numbers, but I think that the numbers will be closer than that gap in draft position.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because also it's like, because also the CeeDee Lamb, it doesn't. I know, like we get force fed the hype, but I feel like that a lot of that plays into like in the NFL as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we got to stop CeeDee Lamb, but it's like, first, he was supposed to break out last year. Well, they got rid of
last year.
Yeah, but I mean, he did have Cooper Rush was his quarterback for a little bit. So I guess kind of give him a break. But it's like they got rid of Amari Cooper so they could, get him as the star wide receiver. Then I guess maybe they just realized that they need somebody else to get. And like he does a lot of work in the slot too. So I don't know. It's like his best work was kind of from the slot. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's kind of like where Brandon Cooks likes. I know he plays outside too. He plays both sides. Both positions, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like I think the hype is. I think this happens with a lot of the Dallas Cowboys and just the team in general. It's just like overhype, and people buy into it, and they feed us with that, so we think that it's real. And I don't know. I just don't see it, man. Like he was picked higher than Justin Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
yeah.
And
the one thing I will say is I expect him to get a ton of targets. That I will say.
Yeah.
If you're somebody who's interested, who really value, and I do really value targets and opportunities, I think that he's going to get a ton of targets because I think that Dak is really going to lean on somebody who he trusts, because I think he's coming into this year extra skittish about throwing picks. So I think that's going to inspire him to throw even more often to CeeDee Lamb. Plus, you have no more Dalton Schultz there, who was another kind of his probably second most trusted pass catcher. Mm-hmm. So I think that some of that is going to go to CeeDee Lamb. So I think the volume will be there, but I'm not high enough on that offense overall to pick him that high.
I agree. I'm so glad you said the Cooks thing, because I'm so 100% in agreement with that. Like I've been saying that. I was actually arguing not too long ago about Cooks. I'm like, yo, bro, I think that's the guy this year. I know Lamb is the name, but CeeDee Lamb's routes they're not as crispy. I feel like Cooks is gonna get open a lot easier than Lamb will. Not to say that
and quicker too, because also you gotta look at the offensive line. Yeah. It's not the same that it was.
He's proven. But anyway, that was.
He's gonna Dak Prescott's gonna have to throw the ball a little bit quicker, man. And especially if he's going in saying that he's not going to throw interceptions, that just means to me that he's going to get the ball out of his hands quicker. He's going to try to go to safer, safer throws. And I mean that kind of, I don't know, I kind of like Cooks, and Tony Pollard coming out of the backfield more often. So,
I agree. Wilson over Lamb, definitely.
Amon Ra is a beast, PPR beast, man. You can't stop him. Like, I don't know if the Bibbs kind of eats into that just because it.
The one thing I heard about Amon Ra that was concerning, I forget what the stat was. I think it was something like, I know he doesn't score a ton of touchdowns, but it was I think it was like the amount of like plays over 20 yards or something was crazy low. Something like that.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's just a system, I think so. That's a product of like Jared Goff, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still his quarterback. So
no, I understand, and that also seems to be his game because it's like that's probably why he slipped to the third round to begin with. It's kind of because like he was looked at as kind of just like a slot only receiver, didn't have anything spectacular, but I don't know. He just produces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's
he definitely produces. I'm just bringing that up just as a concern.
Because see, that's the thing about the like how we were talking about the top three are the top three, because once you get into AJ Brown, you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, all of these, I feel like everything here can kind of be jumbled up except CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb obviously goes to the bottom of this, but all of these receivers are kind of any one of these receivers could be the number 4 receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Devontae. The question is, with the
team,
with what's his name, the quarterback, Garoppolo. So I don't know. There's question marks.
Speaking of that, did you hear the Garoppolo interview with
Yeah, I did.
You heard about that, right? That was wild.
Yeah. All of
my
I thought about you right away.
It's all coming out, yo. It's all coming out.
I thought about you right away. Yeah.
It's all coming out.
I missed it. I'm trying COVID.
No, who was that interview with?
Fuck.
It was with this guy who used to be on ESPN Radio. What's his name? Lumberg, Robin Lumberg.
What's the name of the show, though?
It was the SI podcast, the Sports Illustrated. Yeah, because he's working for SI now. He did an interview with Lumberg, and Lumberg asked him. He asked him about to react to the Trey Lance trade. And he said, I forget what he said, but something like, I don't know what they're doing over there. So something like that.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, what are your thoughts about just how they handle quarterbacks over there? And there was a long pause. He was like, what do you think about how they handle quarterbacks out there? So,
I will tell you one thing, man. Not to get away from this topic real quick, but Shanahan, man, he's been skating under the radar for far too long. And I don't know if that has something to do with Mike Shanahan and that coaching tree, protecting him. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping an eye on him. He might be this year's Brandon Staley.
Listen, I told you I thought he was a bum.
He did. You've been on it.
So, after those top 10, I think we kind of all view that pretty much the same way. CeeDee Lamb a little high, a lot of concerns there. How do we think about Devontae Adams? Speaking of Jimmy Garoppolo.
But that's why he brought him up.
That's the only concern. But I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's gonna go into his guy. I mean, I saw that they were, the rumor was that Hunter Renfrow was kind of available for trade. So I don't know. I think he's the cornerstone. You know what I'm saying? He gets those. It's not like you can't stop Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I think I look at it they're gonna be down in a ton of games. I think that he's probably gonna average somewhere between 8 to 12 catches, probably maybe just a hair under 100 yards. Like I think he's not gonna have a ton of like his yards per catch. I don't think will be very high, but he's really all they got there. And similar to kind of the way I view Cooper Kupp, like you're not gonna stop him. He's gonna eat, and they'll probably lose games. But I think that he's gonna eat.
Yeah, because there's two types of mentalities that the defense can go in when you're trying to justify like a pick. It's like you could either think of it this way, it's like, or the defense is gonna make it a chore to just stop him and let the other guys beat him because of the lack of other offense, or it's like, you know what, let's stop everything else and let him eat. Because everybody else isn't going to beat us, and he isn't going to beat us by himself. So it's like that's why it's like, like in some cases, in the bad teams, yeah, if you're on a bad team and you're a good wide receiver, or the best wide receiver, then you're going to eat because they're not worried about they're not that worried about that. But on a good team, if you're the only wide receiver, they might try to stop that wide receiver and let the other guys beat him. So I don't know. I just think in that case, I think Davante Adams is still going to eat. He's big. He still does those. He still gets up crazy high body control, and in the red zone, unstoppable. So
yeah, I think he's a nice safe pick. I think he has probably like a medium to low ceiling, but a nice high floor. Like he's not going to lose you a week. Maybe he'll win you a week, but he's not going to be somebody who's you're going to have to worry about. At least that's how I view it.
Yeah,
he's a WR. To me, he's like if he's your second wide receiver, if you go hot.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying
second wide receiver, you
did a great job.
Draft.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, it's like if it's, it depends like who you're if you're going with wide receiver first round or running back first round, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the way it stacks up.
Yeah, and now that you mention that, I think that if you're interested in taking Davante Adams, I personally, now that you mention it, I probably would try to get him as my number 2, because then you're set. You know what I mean? Your wide receivers are set. Like if you go first round, any of those guys that we mentioned in the top 5, top 8. And then you depending on where you're drafting, if you manage to get Davante as your 2, you don't got to take another wide receiver for mad rounds.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you end up like with let's say a 10-team league and you have the 9th pick, so that means you have the 9th pick and the 9th and the 12th pick, and you can, you could get one of the other, let's say AJ Brown, and then you could come back with Davante Adams. That's you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Like you don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? So.
But so Jalen Waddle at 11. How do we feel about that? I personally think it's high.
It is high, but you can't argue with the production that he put up. You know what I'm saying? It's like the variable obviously is Tua. Like,
I can argue with the production that he put up in the second half of the year. Obviously, Tua was hurt, but that's why I say it's too high, just because I think that he is more Tua dependent than Tyreek Hill. Whoever is quarterbacking for them is going to force feed Tyreek Hill. You're not going to be able to expect the big time numbers if it's a backup quarterback. But I don't think your Tyreek Hill pick goes down the drain if Tua can't stay healthy. I think if you take Jalen Waddle as top 11 pick and Tua's out, you're dead. Jalen Waddle's not going to do jack for you if Tua's out.
Dead carcass.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Waddle had some rough weeks the last half of the season. He was almost unstartable. I had him in a couple of leagues last year, and it was getting to the point towards the end of the season where I was like he's so boom or bust, where he was getting like 3 targets, 1 catch. Like, I can't put somebody who has that kind of potential number 11. If you're telling me right after Waddle, you're looking at Chris Olave, you're looking at the aforementioned T. Higgins, you can go Devontae Smith, you can go Amari Cooper, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf. all of those guys I would take over Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I find it strange that DK Metcalf is like his ADP is. I mean,
you think it's low?
I think it's too low. Just because it's like I don't know. Like the offseason is like the Jackson Smith-Njigba. I know the hype is crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he fell to like the 21st, 22nd pick, man. It's like a lot of these teams need wide receivers in the real draft. So it's like, and he's a rookie also. I know the rookies, recently have been, producing quickly, but I mean, I just think that like in terms of like DK Metcalf, like he's getting brought down because of the hype of Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Yeah. And I also think people are planning for Geno regression. I think a lot
definitely.
of people still aren't fully sold on. People expect Geno to take a step back next year. I don't think that. I think it depends on who you talk to, but I think overall people are expecting Geno. Whether you expect him to take a huge step back and go back to what everybody looked at him as prior to last year, or you think he's going to take a little step back, still be good, still be productive, still be the general of the team, but not have the gaudy numbers that he had last year. I think everybody expects that little bit of a regression to take place, and I think that that's hurting DK a little bit too. But I agree with you. I think that he's a little bit low. I definitely will put him above Waddle. I think Waddle at 11 is it's aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the hype machine. You know what I'm saying?
And for me, speaking of that, rounding out this top 20 with these guys that I just named, where do you guys stand as far as comparing a guy who's a number one receiver versus a number two? Like, for instance, pure example right here at back-to-back rankings, you have Chris Olave at 12. You have T. Higgins at 13. You have Devontae Smith at 14. And you have Amari Cooper at 15. So you have Chris Olave, who's a number one. You have Amari Cooper, who's a number one. And Higgins and Devontae Smith are both number twos. So for me, I tend to lean number one over the number twos, which is part of my concern with drafting T. Higgins so high. I think Devontae Smith is actually way high. I think that's real high for Devontae Smith because as good as Jalen Hurts is, I just don't know that. Ideally for Philadelphia, I don't think that the volume in the pass game is such that I want their number two receiver that high. I just don't think that they're a high enough volume. Like, I think you look at the Bengals, like, pure example, if you compare those two number two receivers who are back-to-back rankings here, T. Higgins and Devontae Smith, Joe Burrow could double Jalen Hurts' pass attempts this year. Like, there could be a wide gap in terms of, the passing games for each of those two teams. So for me, I would lean towards, if I'm going to take a number two receiver, I'm not going to take a number two receiver on a team that's going to be super duper run game heavy. I'm going to take the number two receiver on a team of a guy who I cannot stand the way they play offense because they never run the ball when they should.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, unless, you're not talking about a bird. Also, you got to realize that the style of play too. Devontae Smith, I mean, obviously has his speed, but he's not a burner like let's say like Tyreek Hill, where he's gonna you could throw a bomb or he can take a 5-yard pass to the house for 80 yards. You're talking about a guy who's a technician in the route game, and if he doesn't get a 30-yard touchdown or a 25-yard touchdown, once they get into the red zone, it's all going to be Dallas Goedert. It's going to be the run game because now they got the dude from the Lions.
Yeah.
That it might be Jalen Hurts himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
way too many touchdown mouths.
And then you got to deal with AJ Brown, who's a head case. So if he doesn't get enough touches or doesn't get enough touchdowns, he might go off and get moody and stuff like that. So there's like a lot of like once you get down into the red zone, there's a lot of dudes that you get to before Devontae Smith that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
And I think like for that to be that high, as good as he is, he can't go that high.
Yeah,
especially in this offense.
Yeah, I would drop him a little bit. Olave is tricky because he's above all of them, and I don't know where I'm at with Olave because I think that he could have a real good year, but at the same time, am I sure enough that he could have a real good year that I would take him over T. Higgins, that I would take him over Deebo Samuel? I mean, Deebo Samuel, I was talking to a 49ers fan the other day, and I was asking him what his expectations of Deebo Samuel are this year, because I have looked, like I said, I've been doing like mock drafts and stuff, and I'm trying to decide who I'm going to go with my second and third picks. And I'm looking at, okay, I can have T. Higgins, I can have Devontae Smith, I can have Chris Olave. There's a lot, for all of them, there's a lot of question marks. I think there's probably the least amount of question marks for me with T. Higgins. But do I want T. Higgins, who I'm concerned about where he stands in comparison to the number one? Or do I want to take Deebo Samuel there, who has all kinds of priorities in the offense, who has all kinds of different gadget ways they like to get him the ball. He's involved in the running game. And I think that they're going to, if they're going to go with Purdy this year, I think they're really going to try to make sure they get the ball to their playmakers, number one being McCaffrey, and number two being Deebo Samuel, and try to get them the ball in space and have them be the ones that eat up that yak, as opposed to having Purdy, launched the ball down the field. So he was saying, the 49ers fan, he was saying that he's not really sure. He's kind of worried about the pass game in general. He thinks they're going to want to run the ball. And I agree with that. But, like, if Deebo Samuel runs the ball for a touchdown, it still counts. If he catches a screen pass for a, 40-yard touchdown, it still counts. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's kind of tricky for me, because I don't know where I put these guys. I personally am leaning more, just because I prefer a guy who's a number one and a guy who I think is going to have those opportunities. So I'm personally leaning more Deebo over the rest of those guys, whether they're, whether it's a Devontae Smith or a Higgins who are number twos, or a Chris Olave who's a little bit of a, we don't know what he's going to look like with Derek Carr.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think he put up numbers with not Derek Carr, so you would imagine it. So you would imagine that maybe it takes a step, but also.
Did he though? Did he put up numbers? Decent numbers? Okay, that's fine. Decent numbers is.
But I mean, also we gotta realize who his quarterbacks were, man.
No, I understand, but so are you projecting an improvement, right? You're projecting that he's going to be much better. That's my only thing, is I don't know how much better. I agree. I think he'll have a better year this year than he did last year. I just don't know how much better.
I am, just because he offers that home run hitting ability. I think he had one of the fastest 40 times 2 years ago in the combine, and OSU wide receiver. He's polished.
Wide receiver that matters.
Yeah, I understand, but what I'm saying is also, like, with the 49ers, it's Shanahan, it's Ayuk, it's Deebo, it's Kittle, it's Christian McCaffrey. So like,
but it's not Ayuk. I'll give you Kittle and McCaffrey. My Ayuk has been pushed way down to the side from when he first came out 3 years ago. He's become a very clear, fourth option.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a product of, like, the other options being good, though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. My point is that I'm not worried about Deebo Samuel because Brandon Ayuk is going to be demanding touches from him.
No, I know, but also the other variable is Brock Purdy and or Sam Darnold. So it's like, that's not that predictable either.
So you would go Olave over Samuel.
Yeah, because I just think Derek Carr, he's steady. You know, he's going to get his guys the football.
Derek Carr, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying I disagree. The only thing I'm saying is that I had kind of the same thought, but then I was reminded that Derek Carr had a lot of very he had a little bit of almost a resurgence the last like 2 years. Maybe even 3 years, because even before Devontae Adams came, he had his first good season in a while, but he had a lot of just poop seasons there for a minute out there, and there's lots of excuses for it, but it's just I don't disagree. I'm just concerned. That's all.
But I mean, also he does lock in, because I'm saying, like, remember that monster season that Darren Waller had. Remember the season that Hunter Renfrow had. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he locks in, and you know, if he locks into Chris Olave, that upside is there. Where if he does select him for, like, that's his guy, the upside is going to be consistent. With Deebo Samuel, it's going to be a week to week basis. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to go up and down.
Yeah, that's a tough one just to mediate. I agree with both of you guys. Like, definitely, like, I can see Carr finding his weapons and spreading the ball around.
What's up with Michael Thomas?
That's what I was just gonna say. Where is Michael Thomas? Because I would rather get, if he's playing and he's healthy and he's mentally healthy, I'd rather get him later.
That's the way that I look at it. Is that, like, if there's a guy on the same team who I think has value later, then that kind of automatically drops the way I look.
And could be a number one. Like if Michael Thomas is himself, he's the number one. It's not Olave.
I mean, I agree. I don't see him being the number one.
I mean, he hasn't played in like 3 years, man.
Yeah,
like, we can't just expect this dude to be who he was 4 years ago.
Listen,
come back.
You know who you can't expect to be who he was? Jimmy Graham. The return of Jimmy Graham. Let's fucking hear for the return of Jimmy Graham.
He's back. Man.
He caught a touchdown pass last week.
A beautiful touchdown.
He's back with the Saints. He caught a touchdown pass and did
their car?
No, not from Carr. Yeah. He did, like, you know how he used to dunk the ball over the goalpost and then he can't do it no more? So
damn.
Yeah, he's back.
He had to adjust even his touchdown
celebration. Yeah, but
he had to warm up. He got to warm up his knee first before he does.
Yeah, he didn't just catch the touchdown. They were using him in the middle of the field. I was surprised.
Yeah. And
I'm not gonna say he's gonna have some big monster fantasy season, but
he literally went up. He literally just went to the end zone, turned around, and literally. He rebounded. Literally. Jumped us.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, that's also Jimmy. Michael. That's right. Michael Thomas's game. So it's like you're just gonna have these two lumbering fucking.
That's what I'm
slow dudes bumping into each other.
How many touchdowns does that leave for Olave?
Yeah, well, if anything, that's gonna congest. Everybody's gonna be wondering what these two old ass injured dudes are doing in the middle of the field, and then Olave's going to do that 4-3, that 4-3. You know, look over here. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to throw it deep, and that's you know what I'm saying. Touchdown 6.
You never know. You could be right.
So this guy I think is ranked way too high at 18, right under DK Metcalf, and that's Calvin Ridley. I liked Calvin Ridley when he was like a sleeper, sneaky guy. You could get way late and people forgot about him, but. If you're looking at him at 18, you're talking about wasting a third-round pick on Calvin Ridley when you could have, theoretically, you could maybe get DK Metcalf at that spot. You can maybe get DJ Moore from the Bears. You could still get Keenan Allen. You could still get, I don't know how you feel about Christian Watson from the Packers, but I would take Christian Watson over Calvin Ridley. As much as I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have a good year, I just think that if you want to talk about mouths to feed in that offense, You got Ridley. You got Kirk. You got your boy Zay Jones, who is not on the Ravens. You got Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram, I think, is going to get heavily used this year. We talked about that with tight ends. I like Evan Ingram a lot. So that, to me, just does not leave enough space for Calvin Ridley, who Calvin Ridley, he has always, when was his monster season? Like, he's always been theoretically good, but we still have yet to really see it on the field.
Yeah, he was always at that, like right where he fucked up is right when he was expected to have that monster season, you know.
But he wasn't having a monster season. That's the thing. He wasn't having it when he had his. Well, are we talking about the gambling, or are we talking about when he left because of mental health? Because that's the other thing.
Yeah,
who knows if he's even going to finish the year? This will be the first time the last time we saw Calvin Ridley, he quit on the Falcons because he had mental health problems. And I'm not disparaging him. Do what you got to do. I wish him the best. But if you're talking about me drafting him, you know, in the 3rd round of my fantasy draft, I'm gonna have to take a pass.
Yeah,
he had one big year, man.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I feel like
it's a potential.
Like, he had one good year, and that good year was 3 years ago.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we're talking about.
So I mean, he has just as good a chance as Jimmy Graham does.
Yeah, I mean,
or Michael Thomas.
Also, it's like, yo, we're underselling the fact of, you know, like you just come back to football. Like, look what happened to Le'Veon Bell when he came back. It's like, yo, you know, you take a year off of football, man, more than a year off of football. You know, you come back and the speed is a little bit different. And we're talking
how Deshaun Watson looked.
I mean, and we're not talking about like a young dude either, man. He's not 25. He's 28. You know, he's gonna be 29 in December. So it's not like we're not talking about like some youngster. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still going up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if anything, now he's supposed to be plateauing now, but we don't know what that plateau is because he hasn't played in 2 years. So, and he hasn't been good in 4. You know, he hasn't been like that guy for 4 years. So I don't know. I think it's overhyped. It's like it's the thing of like the name that we haven't seen. It's the same thing as like that's why Odell Beckham was such a thing. It's like, Odell Beckham, he's going to the Ravens.
Beckham carried the Rams to a Super Bowl, so let's slow down.
It's really the potential of
but you remember that catch? Odell had that catch. You know what I'm saying? That MetLife.
Listen,
you know?
I have that fucking catch as a fucking NFT, like a fool. So nobody knows more about the value or the lack of value of that catch than me.
Yo, my son has a book bag with that shit on it. It says Odell Beckham Jr. and he's catching that shit. But
that's what I'm saying though. It's like that's what I'm saying. It's like you know, sometimes you get this hype and it's like, oh, you know, he's coming back and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, you know, like
I feel like it's like pump the brakes, but I also see the potential. You feel me? Like if you. The potential's there.
It's right there. It's the air.
Well, I got to see. I got to see a lot of that offense, and that's why I was big on Zay Jones.
Okay, but that's the thing. You want Calvin Ridley at that spot, or you want Zay Jones or Christian Kirk 3-4 rounds later?
No, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not. I agree with you guys. I'm just saying, but it's the potential of the fact that he hasn't played, he's still fresh, he's still whatever, and if it's a boom or bust, but if he busts, pause, you know what I'm saying? you got a really talented player with a really good with a projected good quarterback, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, also you gotta
and a hot team too.
And also you think about ETN, and he's the pass, he's a pass catcher as well. Like they draft. You know, obviously Urban Meyer isn't there, but they drafted him to be a wide receiver when Kadarius Toney got drafted. So it's like, so it's like that. The other thing is though, I mean, you are going to be in the AFC South, so you're facing bad teams a couple times during the season each. So there's going to be a lot of points to be had, stuff like that. But once you get down into the weeds of all of this shit, you can make an argument for or against, and you can both be right. But just it's just about what the end result is.
Like, what round is that? What
right. That we don't have. That we can't.
What round is that? What round is that? What is he? You got him at 18, you said?
So Ridley, according to these rankings, he's the number 18 overall receiver. So I would imagine that's going to be probably a late third, early fourth.
Yeah, third.
To me, that's just a little too high.
But if you get him fourth and he's your second option, I don't think that's terrible.
That's awful.
It's a risk.
He went
It's a
third.
risk.
Calvin Ridley's my wide receiver 2. I'm gonna put something.
Remember
somewhere.
this episode, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Remember this episode.
And we're also talking about Jacksonville, so relax, buddy.
It is Jacksonville. Same old Jacksonville.
I don't want to take the risk with Ridley as my number 2.
No, he went in our draft. I was just looking now. He went 30th overall.
Ooh.
That's high.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the first pick in the second round, right? Or third round.
You said what number?
30th.
If in a 10-team league, that would be the first pick in the third round, no?
No.
Oh, fourth round. First pick in the fourth round.
Last pick in the third round because it's a snake.
Yeah. It would be
last pick in the third round. He went 30.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little higher on him than you guys, but not to the point where
I think he has a good ceiling. I just wouldn't want to take the chance with him as at my number 2 receiver. I'd much rather if I can get him and he's my third receiver, then that excites me.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, that's a plus. Hell yeah,
But
did he
if
sign
he's
a
my
contract?
second receiver, I'm good.
Did he sign a contract, or is he playing for a contract this year?
That's a good question.
Wow,
that I don't know.
he's-
How do we feel
Because
about
that-
DJ Moore from the Bears?
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
not crazy about his surroundings.
there's
I'm
only
just
there's
curious.
only-
We skipped over this person, but Amari Cooper for Cleveland. Obviously, that is contingent on what Deshaun Watson's gonna be. I just am too. The whole situation with what the Browns are going to be is too questionable to me to draft Amari Cooper anywhere near where he seems to be getting.
I don't like Amari Cooper to begin with. He's like like if he feels like playing football, he will, and he'll be good. If he doesn't, he disappears for a couple of weeks. I don't know. He's too moody for me, and there's too much. I don't know. Too much unknowns.
So we're out on Amari Cooper. DJ Moore, you were saying?
I mean, there's. Sorry. There's only if he's gonna get 4 out of the 5 Justin Fields completions, then sure. But
I mean, listen, he took that one nice one in the preseason.
That's what I'm saying. And I thought as everybody was talking about Justin Fields. It was like, oh shit, damn, he's killing it. And then I look, he was 2 for 6 for 89
the air
yards.
It was like he had 7 air yards. They were both.
But this was the second game. It wasn't even that one. It was the I think it was the second game because he had two big ass plays, DJ Moore. Because I know he took the first play of the first game and he took that for a touchdown that was negative air yards. And I think he did something similar, but I think in the second game it was like a 8-yard pass or something like that, and he took it either to the house or into the neighborhood. But it was I look at the stat. I'm like, oh, Justin Fields killed it. He had 2 for 6 for 79 yards, and I'm like, yo, Nick, this is just ridiculous, man.
If I can get DJ Moore late, I'll take a flyer on him, but I don't trust the passing game in Chicago enough to prioritize.
They are really trying to force feed that down everybody's throat. But
the Bears.
As a player,
Justin Fields MVP candidate, yo, relax, man. He's got to complete.
Here's the thing: I don't think that's crazy. Just because if he was healthy all last year, you could have made a case that he should have, just based on his running production. But that doesn't mean that offense is going to be good and they're going to win games and that there's going to be value to be had fantasy wise outside of him. But I mean, listen, if the guy's running for 150, 200 yards a game, then you can make an MVP case for him. It's an ugly way of doing things, but
Now, I like DJ Moore as a player a lot. Like I think he probably don't got the recognition that I think he's better than I think he's advertised or known to be because of his situations. But as far as fantasy, yeah, man, I can't touch him.
I've been one of the Jets to trade, but like
Me
there used
too.
to
I
be
wanted him in the
rumors.
Giants so bad.
There used to be rumors for years, bro. Like 4 years. I think going into his second year, there was rumors of him like potentially being able to be traded, and it was like like the Jets could trade the second round pick, everything like that, and
Yeah.
nothing ever materialized. But I guess shit, if you're gonna draft, the best thing you could do if you're gonna draft a rookie quarterback, is to get rid of a number one wide receiver, right? And that's the way you should.
I'll round out the top 30, and then from there we can just close out with guys that we haven't mentioned. If there's somebody that you think that there's value, or somebody that you're looking at late in the draft.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So after DJ Moore, rounding out the top 30, at 20 they have Christian Watson. 21, they have Keenan Allen. 22, Brandon Ayuk. 23, Terry McLaurin. 24, DeAndre Hopkins. 25, Drake London. 26, Tyler Lockett. 27, Mike Williams. 28, Christian Kirk. And 29, Mike Evans. Of those 10. Of those 10, I'm interested in Christian Watson. I'm interested in Christian Kirk very low, and I'm mildly interested in Mike Evans.
I don't get how Christian Kirk could be
28.
That much lower. Yeah,
that much lower than Ridley. Yeah, 8
yeah,
spots. They have Ridley at 18 and Kirk at 28.
We've seen that. We haven't seen the Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
And and also I did
how do they have DeAndre Hopkins so high?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, DeAndre Hopkins.
It's all hype. He could barely. He was not that good last year.
Yeah. Well, isn't Willis like making like a resurgence, and he's gonna be like the starting quarterback or some shit?
I don't know. I don't know who's gonna be the starting quarterback in Tennessee. It could be Hendon
I hear
Hooker
them blowing.
for all I know.
Yeah,
No,
so that's why I'm saying I don't know how the hell you're gonna.
Hendon Hooker's in Detroit.
So who's the other guy that they got?
Will Levis.
Oh, Will Levis.
Levis. There you go. Damn, man, I bit on that. But yeah, I like Mike Williams in that list.
I just like the name Hendon Hooker better. It's funner to say. Yeah, no, I don't know who's throwing him the ball, so I'm like, I'm good. What were you saying about Mike Evans? My bad. Or Mike Williams?
No, Mike Williams. I actually like Mike Evans early. I feel like early in the season he'll make noise, and you get rid of him, by week 4 and shit. But Mike Williams is a guy that I always liked, man, and me and my son always argue about him because he swears he's not, this whatever. But he shows up, man. He's a big body.
He shows up and he doesn't show up.
Yeah, you're right. But he's a big body. He's fast. He got spectacular catch ability.
That doesn't do anything.
Good quarterback.
Like, I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't do. I'm not arguing against his ability to be a good receiver. Yeah. I'm arguing against his ability to produce numbers that are going to win me a fantasy week. And
because of so many players, right?
It's just to tell you the truth. Unless we're talking wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, I'm not taking any of the Chargers receivers. I'm not taking Keenan Allen, and I'm not taking Mike Williams just because I can't count on them. Like,
you can't count on Staley either.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't count on. I can count on them throwing the ball, but I just don't. You don't know with that offense. It's just like you don't know who's gonna be. Is it gonna be? Is Eckler gonna catch 150 yards? Yep. Is it gonna be? Is this gonna be Keenan Allen, or is Keenan Allen gonna be hurt? Is it gonna be Mike Williams, or is he gonna be hurt?
No, and then and the Chargers always have 1 or 2 wide receivers that you've never heard of that go off for 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Exactly.
You're right.
And the other thing about Mike Williams,
whoever's the last wide receiver on the depth chart, you can I'll guarantee you right now that he's gonna have 2 weeks where he's the number one target.
Word. Like last year, it was who Palmer played that role last
Josh
year a couple
Palmer.
times. Yeah. And the other thing about Mike Williams to me is that he has a ton of potential, but he has had so many opportunities to kind of cement himself as as having lived up to the potential, and he always falls flat. I mean, how many opportunities did he have with Keenan Allen sidelined where you're thinking Mike Williams, he should have a high volume of opportunities, high volume of targets. He should have at least 8 to 10 catches. There's no Keenan Allen. So-and-so is banged up. And he never has delivered in all of those circles. Like, he'll have a random game, or he'll have a random stretch of 2-3 games where he'll go, 10 catches, over a buck 50, close to 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then he'll just disappear for a month for no kind of reason.
No, you're right.
Every one
and
of
that's
his
when the Palmers pull up.
Yeah.
Every one of his when the Palmers pull up. Every one of his catches is him falling out of bounds.
Arnold.
He's like you said, like he'll have 2 touchdowns. He might have 3 touchdowns. Arnold.
Nice.
And
he
might
also.
have. But you know what I'm saying? Like he'll have 2 touchdowns where he's falling out and he tiptoes. You know what I'm saying? But then he'll have 4. There'll be 4 games in a row where he'll go for 1 catch, 2 catch, 3 catch, 1 catch, 2 catch, 3 catch, none. And, but
that's that Eminem beat.
Yeah, that's that. What's his name?
Papa Doc.
Travis Trapp, whatever the fuck his name.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like he could go 4 weeks, and then the week that you get sick of him, you put him on the bench. Then he goes off for his 3 touchdowns. And at the end of the season, he has 12 touchdowns. At the end of the season, he has 12 touchdowns, but it's 4 games that he got them in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the only other guy that I would say on that list is Mike Evans. If I'm not mistaken, he did play with Baker Mayfield, no?
No. No, he played with Johnny Manziel.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
He played with not sober Baker Mayfield. They used to call Baker Mayfield sober Johnny, right?
Oh,
so he played with drunk Baker Mayfield.
So I don't know, but
it's funny that you mentioned that, because what I was going to say is, even though Baker Mayfield's not Johnny Manziel, in this situation I kind of think he is, because I do expect Baker Mayfield, if he's going to connect with any of the receivers in Tampa, I think it'll be Mike Evans. I think I think he could throw the ball to Mike Evans similar to how Johnny threw it to him when they were in Texas A&M. And although Mike Evans has been kind of hit or miss the last couple of years, he's almost had, not quite as highs and lows as Mike Williams, but similarly, Mike Evans at this low of an ADP to me is interesting. If I can get him as a number 3 or a flex, I wouldn't hate that, depending on how the rest of the roster shapes up.
Well, also you got to think about why kind of he's been stifled a bit the previous years with Brady. I mean, you had Brady bringing in his guys with Gronk and Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Brady
so I think
spreads
that
it out, and he loves to throw to the slot, so that's why
that's what I'm saying.
So much.
Exactly. So I think that when you take into account what his ADP, I think his ADP is lower because of the previous previous couple seasons where he's had to deal with that. I think that since that's out of the way now, I think I think he should be able to eat a little bit more, and it's going to be a different offense. It's not going to be, it's going to be a more well-rounded offense. So, I think he's going to be. I think his numbers are going to come back up.
So that closes out the top 30. Aside from those guys, are there late round guys who you are targeting with high upside, or who are some of the unmentioned wide receivers who you are interested in getting in late in fantasy drafts?
Want to go, Cheeks?
Yeah, sure. Well, we spoke about a few of them, but that weren't in that top 30. Um, like the Cooks of the
Cooks,
world.
yeah, they have Cooks
Yep.
ranked 40.
Yeah, you see, like that's a guy right there that you get him. He's gonna be on the field, and he's gonna get
Yeah,
open.
he's gonna be
So,
involved. Yeah.
yeah, so that's a guy right there. The rookie for Minnesota, man. It's all about value, right? You get him that late. Addison. I can see him getting open, man. He's a little thin, but he's crafty, bro, and he got good hands. That's a kid right there that I would like to keep my eye on late in the draft.
Well, don't mention anybody else because I don't want you to mention.
Oh yeah,
this guy who I know you would mention if I let you go. So
I was just gonna mention somebody, but say it.
I'm gonna say this person before you get to them.
Go ahead.
And it might not be the same person you're thinking, but it's somebody who you mentioned. I remember you mentioning him and being high on him last year, and that's George Pickens.
You're the fucking man, yo.
George Pickens.
I knew it.
Yo, that was the words that was coming right. I was about to say.
That's why I had to stop you.
I was literally gonna say, "Oh, don't forget about your brother's man, George Pickens," because for some reason he keeps sending me highlights on Instagram of him,
You know
as
why?
if I said he was bad.
He sent it to you because I told him the same way I told everybody. George Pickens is that guy. George Pickens is that guy. And I think these stupid mini camps is making people aware of it, and I hate it.
But here's the thing:
But
if they have him ranked 34, which means you're probably getting him 4th, 5th round.
Yeah,
I don't even know. Like they have Deontay Johnson ranked 3 spots ahead of him at 31. I personally think Deontay Johnson is a bum. But even if you think that he's not a bum,
yeah,
I don't
Why
think
would
that
he be
he's
better?
still the number 1 receiver there.
who?
Deontay Johnson.
No,
George Pickens is the number 1 receiver for the Steelers.
It seems that way, but I feel like fourth round is a little high, no? 5th.
That's going to be a late 4th, early 5th. And to me, that's not high. If I'm telling you I think he's the number 1 receiver for the Steelers,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
perfect. I might take him earlier than that. Like, depending on how my draft looks, if I go running back heavy and I need a wide receiver 3, like, I'm trying to get George Pickens because I think the upside is crazy. If you believe what a lot of people are saying about, what they expect out of Kenny Pickett this year, I think Kenny Pickett showed towards the end of even last year that he was much more interested in throwing the ball to George Pickens, and he trusted George Pickens way more than Degenerates Johnson, who just drops every pass that gets thrown to him.
Yeah.
I think that could be a big time upside play for me. So he's the guy that I would definitely be looking at late in those rounds. Not just because of all the hype and the spectacular catches. I just think that based on just where people expect Pickett, the strides that I keep on hearing that Kenny Pickett is going to make this season and the Steelers offense as a whole, in addition to where George Pickens falls in terms of the priority totem pole there,
Yeah.
I feel like that's just too low of a ranking for me.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Make some
No, I
regular
agree with that.
catches first. How about that?
Yeah. Catch this COVID. Show me, then you really show me something.
Yeah, I did it. Why can't he?
So yeah, that's really the one who I'm eyeing late in drafts. I'm also I'm kind of curious. I'm curious about Juju and what his role is going to be with the Patriots. And I don't know why people have Allen Lazard so low. I mean,
Because he's a droppy.
you know how, huh?
He's
what?
droppy. He drops a lot of passes. He's the number 3.
I mean, what? But,
He's not
but
number
the thing is,
3.
it's like,
He should be a number 2. Is what I mean.
But he's not.
but the thing,
What he
I
should
know.
be and what he is. What he's not a number 3. What he is your boy Aaron Rodgers' boy. That's what he is.
That's what he is.
So
yeah, and the thing is, it's like, yo, I mean, I know it's drops, but you know, like, how many drops is it, right?
Yeah.
You know, like he drops a lot, but it's like when you think about you like take that into account for like the whole season, it's like it's not that much in terms of like in terms of fantasy. You know what I'm saying? So
to me,
Okay.
the drops don't matter unless they impact the targets the quarterback is going to give him. That's the only time
Exactly.
that drops matter.
That's
Like,
true.
hey, you don't lose unless you're in a league where you're losing points for a drop. I don't give a shit if you drop 10 passes. If you finish the game with 5 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown, I'm good. I don't give a shit if you drop 10 passes. It don't matter.
That's
to
a
me.
good
yeah,
point.
because the thing is, he's not going to stop throwing to him. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah,
what
that's a good point.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That,
He-
like
he
he's
could-
Rodgers'
you know,
man.
if he drops 2 passes, let's say, you know, if it's like, let's say for argument's sake, it's Jason Brownlee, one of the rookies that are on the Jets. He drops 2 passes, he might not see the light of day
exactly.
ever again.
He
They
might
put
turn
him.
into
They
Christian
might.
Watson.
Yeah, he might be in jail for the rest of the season. But if Lazard drops 2 passes, he might end
That's
up the
his
game
man.
with. He might end the game with 8 catches that same game.
Yeah.
And he's 8 for 10 on targets, and the 2 drops are the 2 that
You're
aren't that he didn't catch. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
So
That-
that's
that-
why
that's
I
kind of
look
the
at the
difference there.
Alan Lazard as way, 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 way low because I'm actually concerned. As much as I love Garrett Wilson, I'm concerned that at least early in the season, red zone. I don't expect Garrett Wilson to be the guy in the red zone. I expect
No.
it to be. I don't know if it's gonna be always feeding Alan Lazard, but would I be shocked to see Alan Lazard catch a touchdown in the first 3-4 games of the season? If at the end of week 4, Garrett Wilson is leading the team in receiving yards by a good amount, but Alan Lazard is leading the team in touchdown passes with like 3 or 4, would you be shocked?
no, that's perfectly reasonable. And
No,
also,
I wouldn't be shocked.
because also like the other thing for Garrett Wilson is like, if they get into the red zone, now they got Dalvin Cook down there. Now they got Aaron Rodgers loves to find a tight end that's his guy as well. It's always like Cook, Tunyon. There's one every year. They all look the same, but they got different last names.
Jermichael, didn't he have Jermichael something?
Jermichael Finley.
What happened to my guy Jared Cook? Yeah, what happened to him, man? That was his man.
Mercedes
Cookie.
Lewis.
Cookie.
I don't know.
He's with St.
Yeah, I
Louis?
don't know.
Wow. They got a football team? What is it?
Lou.
XFL? Arena? No, is he still in the league, Jared Cook?
I don't
think
know.
he is.
I know he ended up with the. I think he was like he's the perfect like immaculate grid football edition answer
Yo, for
because he
real.
was with the Titans, he was with the Saints, he was with the Packers, he was with the Rams, he was all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't know. I think
he was.
for me there's only a couple wide receivers. I mean, I don't buy into the I guess like the Elijah Moore hype. It could be.
Is there hype?
But I've seen dog. You should see like they're always
the
the
Jets fan community.
No, because they put like, oh, I can't believe the Jets gave up on him. Wouldn't they want to have him back? Now I'm like, yo, this dude
Who?
complained
Where
about
did you
not.
see this?
Browns, and they put Jets hashtag in it, so it pops up on my feed. You know what I'm saying?
You're walking right into the antagonism trap.
No, but it's unexpected. But
He's a free agent, by the way.
Who?
Oh, Jared Cook.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad.
But he's always good in the preseason. He's always good in training camp, and then he doesn't really put it on. He doesn't really put it on display during the season. But I think Jahan Dotson.
Yo, I was gonna say him too. Yes.
I think that's my guy.
He's my
right
perfect
there.
Terry McLaurin excuse to not draft him, because I'm like, why would I take Terry McLaurin where he's getting drafted when I can get Jahan Dotson, who I wouldn't be shocked if he leads the team in all of their passing categories next year.
Yeah, man.
he's a
he
beast.
he was making those crazy catches, and you know he had the
And McLaurin's hurt too.
Yeah, and he had a shady quarterback situation. You know what I'm saying? Like I know
That still remains, I think. No.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Yeah.
if they do go with Jacoby Brissett, you know that's the type of wide receiver that they're gonna focus on. So I think Jahan Dotson.
Jacoby Brissett.
I like.
He's on the Commanders.
He's
What
not
do you
gonna
mean if
play,
they
man.
go with Jacoby
Howell.
Brissett? They're going
I
with
told you
Howell,
Howell.
no?
I told you that last year.
Yeah, I know, but it's either Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett. I
No,
don't
it's
know
not
if he-
either. Yo, your man Ron Rivera, and this just goes to what I
Oh
was
my
saying about him being
God.
just an old lost man. He is quoted as having said,
Haven't
he
said.
was quoted as having said.
Haven't
This
say
nigga
it.
from South Carolina all of a sudden.
He was
Goddamn.
quoted as having said.
The Redskins.
He's quit the way he's getting He's calling to have it said.
Yeah, he's choking on tobacco juice.
Nah. Nah. He was quoted as
Foghorn
having said
Leghorn over here.
that he was watching Sam Howell play, and that he was damn, I wish I knew he was so good. If I knew he was so good, I would have played him last year.
I would have played him
he didn't say
early.
that.
He didn't
I
say
swear
that?
to God, he said that shit. Swear to God,
When did he
said
say that?
shit.
When did he say that?
Yesterday, I think, or
Yeah,
2
a
days
couple
ago.
days ago.
My nigga.
Yo, he's not.
Something about it. He was telling somebody
he
like
was
off
talking-
the cuff
no,
comment. He was talking to
He's
his
worse
wife.
than Urban Meyer.
Yo, he was
No,
talking
he's
to
worse
his
than
wife.
Urban
He
Meyer.
was
Yeah,
talking
he
to
told
his wife.
Oh, I told my wife if I knew this guy was so good, I would have played him. What type of head coach is that?
And she handed
Well,
him his tea.
So it's bad enough that he admitted that to his wife.
That's crazy.
He goes then to tell people. So
On air.
So this is how lost he is. So
Yeah.
he thought that it would be better to explain it away as him telling his wife that,
Exactly.
as opposed to him telling them directly, as if it would soften the blow about how much a buffoon he was.
Yeah.
He's an
That
idiot.
he's
He's
that he that
delusional.
it's
He's
not.
nuts.
Yo, my God, yo, what
He's
the hell is wrong with him?
He's senile, bro. Like that, you can't do that. You can't say things like
Yeah,
that.
nah, I like that. And it was funny because I was actually starting to raise an eyebrow at a lot of the kind of don't sleep on the Commanders conversation that I've been hearing about. Oh, they might be, they might be all right, but yo, I'm sorry. I think that they're from a talent standpoint, I think they're more talented than people give them credit for. I think that if the defense can stay healthy, they could have a formidable defense. And you know that if you have a good defense, you can win some games in this league.
And you got
But
weapons.
I'm sorry, and they do have weapons.
I like that cornerback too, man.
I'm sorry.
Emmanuel
That
Forbes.
once I was reminded at how much of a buffoon Ron Rivera has become, I
Took
can't-
the air right out.
Can't do it.
Let me. I think we're all on agreement with Dotson, which is cool. That's one of the reasons why I like this kid from Minnesota, because I could see the similarity in those two. And Dotson's, I was big on Dotson. Penn State coming out of the draft last year, so he's
All right, so
definitely.
I think we
I
got to
can't
do,
believe that.
since the box is undefeated so far. Because you remember
Word,
who the
it
box,
is.
You remember who
It
the
is.
box predicted?
I
was
thought
gonna
about
win
the
that
show when I was
preseason
watching it.
game. Okay,
When I was watching it, I was thinking that.
box is undefeated so far. Box is 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
All we have left now is the opener, right? There's no more preseason games.
Mm-mm.
So we got to see whoever comes out first, Chiefs or Lions, they're winning the opener.
You just put two
Hopefully-
in there. Nah. This
Hopefully
is
I don't
better.
got to draw. Hopefully I don't got to draw for 10 minutes like last time. Raiders,
Yo, he took every ball out and then
No,
found,
yeah, it was
and
like the
remembered that he
last
left the
one.
Giants out.
Chargers, no. Cowboys, no.
Nope.
Bengals, no.
Bengals.
Oh.
Don't.
where to
It's
put your
over.
money. You know where to
It's
put the
over.
money.
You mean the Super Bowl champs are gonna beat the Super Bowl favorites on opening day?
Listen, the Super Bowl favorites. What's more important, being the defending champ or being this year's favorite? Wait and find out.
No, we don't. We
It's
don't
over,
need to wait
baby.
and find
I
out.
can't
You just
wait.
told us.
Finally, back.
No, I think the Lions are overhyped, man. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't even gonna make the playoffs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
Wait, how do you say thank you as I look here at your prediction with the Lions winning the division?
Well, because it got overhyped. It got overhyped. That's why.
I stay quiet.
That's why I wanted to revisit it, because
I think I got the Lions too, didn't I?
Yes, you do. I'm the only one who didn't pick the Lions.
that's why I got to revisit it, because
You guys were on the same page with everything, man. I was the only different one.
Were we?
Because
You were on a lot of same shit.
No, I mean a lot. You guys were. I guess it's even. But you did both have the Lions. I took the Packers. You both had the Lions winning the NFC North, Bengals winning the AFC North. Obviously, I didn't. I have the Bengals missing the playoffs. So, but foolishly,
That's a hot
I'm
take.
gonna change this. I don't want.
I gotta revisit
I don't want the
that as
team
well.
that I picked though. 'Cause I picked the Browns, and I'm not feeling good about that.
I want. I got to change that one too, man.
Steelers
lot
it
of
is.
stuff happening.
Steelers it is, guys.
No, I'm not
We're
picking the Steelers.
all three of us Steelers.
You're not. You wouldn't dare come off the Bengals. Stop it. You wouldn't leave your man Joey LeBron jersey. He's back. You wouldn't leave him
Oh my
out there.
god,
to
that wasn't
try
really
like
that wasn't a real picture, was it?
Yeah, that was it.
Come
was
on,
Photoshopped.
that was
Day.
from his Instagram.
I
Yeah,
thought it was photoshopped. yo.
Never, no way. It looked like a
Nah,
woman's jersey.
he-
It was mad
No,
tight
that
up
was-
top.
No, because that was from when
It
he
looked
was
like
in
the
college.
Pitbull jersey.
Oh.
It looked like
Hell,
the
yeah,
Pitbull
when they
jersey that he was
painted
wearing
on,
when he
the painted on joint.
the painted up
No,
of
the actual
Sports
women's
Illustrated.
jersey that he was wearing at the All-Star game. Remember?
Oh yeah, that was Max Short.
Yeah, and that the V was cut like this,
Mhm.
mad low, and he had like a white tee underneath. Yo, Pitbull.
Yeah, he stayed doing that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You mentioned that because I for some reason there was nothing on TV last night after whatever I watched, and the VH I think it was probably VH1, and the Pitbull thing was on, like one of his behind the music joints. They were showing how he was like oh, they had a rough and rugged. And he battle rapped against Dragon, there was like a Ja Rule and not that Ja Rule, like the Rough Riders were there, and it was like he had a battle with Dragon, and then like he beat him, and then like Earth God, he tried to sign him and shit like that. I was like, yo,
Amazing.
my nigga,
He
you
should have
gotta
had
stop.
Dragon on the Fireball remix. Fireball. Flame
He
on.
had real beef.
Flame on.
Fireball.
No, the best beef is Cuban Links and Pitbull.
Oh, they have beef? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cuban on
yeah,
Cuban crime?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, of course you would know that. Damn, that's wrong. I didn't know about that. No, I don't mean that as an insult. I'm just saying
No, I know.
I'm not surprised you didn't know that.
Cubans stick together.
So I think that's gonna do it for this week. Next week we have the big one. We have next week we will finish out. We will revisit our final draft division winners and playoff teams. We've already knocked out the fantasy, and we'll of course make our week 1 picks.
Mm-hmm.
And we have movie reviews, but we'll save that for next week. Until
There it
next
is.
time.